Perez Hilton's battle with Blake Lively heats up, and now Blake Lively claims anything she needs is more important than his right to freedom of speech. Let's get into it.
Miss Lively's need for the information outweighs Mr. Hilton's First Amendment interest under the specific facts in this case based on the three-prong test. The three-prong test, which she fails. I know that three-prong test. It's not listed here, but the three-prong test means she needs to exhaust all other options, which she has not.
The fact that Blake is going out of her way to say that Blake's needs for the information outweigh Mr. Hilton's First Amendment, you are out of your mind. You are literally out of your mind. Then she doubles down and wants to say Mr. Hilton claims that he adheres to journalist standards, but continues that by the content on his own platform, which reflects that he does not view himself as a journalist, nor subscribe to any of the basic tenets of journalism. Do any of mainstream media actually follow anything for journalism ethics or anything like that? I would say no. So why you're throwing this in here like a jab at Hilton? Let's talk about mainstream media, like TMZ or People Magazine or US Weekly. Like, let's talk about it. Want to talk about journalism? Every single journalist would be talking about this case and Blake Lively going after content creators and journalists. Whatever word you want to use, we still have freedom of speech, and you're trying to take it away because of what? We don't like you because we said something that we critiqued you on. Another thing that bothers me is, why does Blake not have to be here in court? Like, why is it that Perez Hilton is here, but then Blake doesn't have to fly out here? You want to talk about, it's a burden to you? You have created burden on all of these content creators, 107 to be exact. And yet, nothing. Like, Blake is just at her penthouse or in her mansion doing whatever the heck she wants to do, while all of these people are now having to go out of their way, figure out legal advice, figure out, if their own legal research, if they're going to do it themselves. It's a whole ordeal. But Blake is just sitting comfy at home, just la 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 la. Let's face it, Blake is intimidated by the looks he's serving. But really, though, let's talk about this whole smear campaign. Okay, so hypothetically, let's say Blake doesn't find anything. Okay. Well, then what is Blake going to do? Like, are you going to continue to double down that, you didn't find a single lick of evidence because it was untraceable? Which in itself, like, we are in a digital age. I can promise you without a doubt, nothing is untraceable. Go to a police station and ask them. They will tell you nothing is untraceable, okay? So if you didn't find a single thing, you can't just keep saying, well, it was because it's untraceable. But I have a feeling that she will, and that just irks me to a whole new level. So let's say she finds something, hypothetically, she finds that, they were talking to journalists. Okay, well, what were they talking about? Well, okay, well, what were you talking about with journalists? Because I feel like even if she were in some world able to find any evidence of anything, they're going to be able to find tenfold of whatever evidence she found of, you're saying they reached out and leaked this information? All right, let's talk about New York Times. They, released this information right before you sent this document. All right, let's talk about TMZ. Let's talk about US Weekly. Let's talk about people all of these things that Blake claims, we have been able to see that she does herself. So it's just one of those where it's like, where are you going with this? Like, if you don't find anything and you still try to cling on to this untraceable, it's not believable because nothing is untraceable. So now we go to the other route and, okay, we do find stuff. Okay, well, is it enough to even warrant anything, or is it something that you have to exaggerate out of proportion to make it seem like it's part of a smear campaign, but it's really part of PR? The only way that I see this working out for Blake or Ryan is if they turn on one another. Like, at the end of this, they're like, hey, like, either Blake is like, I did this because Ryan forced me and blah, 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 blah. Or Ryan say, Blake did all of this and she was trying to jeopardize my career and take my money. I don't know, like a whole exaggerated thing, and it turns into the next Depp versus Heard case. I just don't see this working out in their favor whatsoever. Like, no matter which route they go. So I'm trying to understand, like, what is your game plan? Like, what is the end goal? Because at this point, you're not getting the movie rights. You're not going to get some award for this besides the PGA mark that you already got. So what else do you want? Public image is out the window. So at this point, I'm thinking, did Blake plan on losing this case? Like, is that too far off to think that she planned this whole thing knowing that she was going to lose with the end goal that, hey, I'm still going to just claim on to this whole, it was untraceable and everyone turned against me. It was very misogynistic and, it's everyone else's fault but mine. I truly was the victim in all of this. And this was like the tabloids coming against me. But this time it was content creators. And maybe that's my problem. Maybe me trying to think rationally to understand Blake's process is the problem, because you can't understand something irrational being rational. Now, Perez has stated that he is starting to look into legal services, hopefully pro bono, because this literally would cost so much money. People do not understand. Like, when I was looking for legal service, it was literally the cheapest I could find was $450 an hour. An hour. The amount of hours I spent researching to even do my motions, I can't imagine how much I would have spent. Like, very easily 10 grand, like within a week. So I understand why he needs it pro bono. I hope he can find somebody that will do it for him, and just wishing him the best. I'm so glad that people have been able to go and support him. If I lived closer, I would totally be there, but we're with you in spirit. Stay tuned for more updates and follow me for more.